Okay, so this is a bike I bought for $300. It has quite a lot of issues and it's quite rough in the paint, as you can see. It is a formal rental bike from a bike park here in Sweden, and it has mostly the original parts, like the original fork and the original shock. But this fork, I will show you. It has quite a big dent in it. If I can put the bike down, like you see here, it's like quite a serious dent. And then the brakes do like squeal a lot. I don't know if you can. They're really contaminated, and I think the back brake might be leaking. Not quite sure. It is. It has some oil like under it. But if that is the case, then I have a not new but a working Hope Tech, old Hope Tech 2-piston brake that I will change it for if I can't fix it. It has like the whole linkage is, all the bearings are completely blown, like here, this bearing is completely blown. The wheels are kinda true. I mean, the tires are really quite bad. I think they're probably the original, or like close to original, but because it's still the an old Specialized tire. So this is a Specialized Status 2 from like 2011, I think. And the forks I'm gonna replace with a fork from another of my bikes. This is a Marzocchi 888 CR, I think, from 2012. I think it will look really sick on with the black and white on this one. And the shock is actually quite nice. I might service it, I don't know. Probably not today, but it feels good. It has a 700-pound spring on it. I will change it for a 650-pound, because 700 is like really big. And so yeah, I think I'm gonna get to pulling off the wheels and getting into the frame and exchanging these bearings. There's only 6, so I think it won't take that long. So I'm just gonna do that right now. Okay, so I encountered some problems. Like this bolt is stripped, and these bolts are like some size that I don't even have, and they're kind of stripped as well. So now I have the frame fully stripped with all the bearings out, and I cleaned it up a bit. My camera's about to die, so can't really film that much. And all the bearings are out. Some of them were a pain in the ass, but I have this bearing puller, so it's quite easy. And then I have this bearing press, and it's quite a mess, but there's the shock and all the hardware, and then here's the new bearings that I'm gonna be putting in. And then I gotta put the new forks on, and I'm gonna check if I get the brakes working properly and change the pads so I can stop. And then I'm just gonna put the frame back together. So I'm gonna do it now. Okay, so now the frame is put together with the new bearings, and it moves very smoothly, and there's no play like it was before. Like all the bearings before were all the like balls inside were completely destroyed, so it was just like metal on metal here and no bearing between. But now everything is nicely put together, and I'm gonna get going on the fork. Okay, so now I've changed location to my local bike garage. So now I'm gonna get started on taking the cockpit apart and putting in the new crowns, and then changing out the shifter because it's not moving. Because this plate is bent, but I have another shifter that I put like here, and then I'm maybe gonna try to put these cranks in if they fit. I'm not gonna change the bottom bracket because I mean it moves and it has no play in it, so it's fine. Okay, so now I have the new crowns on, and I tested the other crankset on, and it fits. It's the right, it's an old 73mm, so it's not an 83 like most downhill bikes today, it's a 73. And I put a wider set of bars on, a pair of 35 race face that I had with a matching stem. Because the stem that was on has this huge drop. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, so it has this huge drop, so you actually have the handlebars more like down near the head tube. Okay, so here's the finished bike. I have upgraded a few more parts on it, and if you can tell, I have a 27.5 front wheel right now, and I put some new tires on, some Michelin DH34s front and rear. I did a fork service on it, so it has some lighter oil in it, so it actually feels super good right now. And if you can tell, it's really dirty right now because I just got home from the last bike park ending here in Sweden. Okay, so now I'm gonna do a breakdown of the costs while I play some GoPro footage of me riding the bike at the Järvsö bike park. So some of the costs are going to be a bit complicated because I already have the parts lying around. So I'm gonna try to do my best and evaluate these parts fairly. So starting off with the whole bike, I bought it for $300 off a friend, but that is not a ridiculous price to pay for this bike because it was in a really bad condition. And I actually think you could have got it for less. And then the new bearings I bought for the equivalent of like $60. And then the new brake pads for like $30. And then for the fork, it's a bit complicated because I had the fork lying around, and this fork in particular would cost a bit more than like a similar fork from the time, because these forks are kind of sought after. So I would assign like $100 to get the new fork, because for that price you could get a used boxer from this time period and it would work really fine if you gave it a service and some lighter oil. And then for the crankset I would assign like no more than like $10 for it, because this is the cheapest crankset that Shimano offers. And then for the front wheel I would say you could get like this front wheel for like $30, just an old 27.5 20 by 110 non-boost hub. And then for the tires, they were cracked but they were brand new, so I would like assign $30 for them too. So in total it's going to be around $550 for the whole bike, and I think that's a great price for a bike that has good brakes, good suspension. I mean The suspension isn't like world class, but it works really nicely for the type of riding as you see in the video. I would actually prefer this suspension, especially this fork and this shock over like some of the modern air shocks and some of the modern forks. All in all, $550, not a bad deal, and definitely a good bike that still holds up for today's standard.